Welcome back, Queens. And today is a new day. And there's a story I heard from Eddie Pinero, who is a brilliant storyteller and thought leader, that it moved me and it stuck with me like honey on a biscuit, girl. I want to give him credit for this beautiful imagery. I'm paraphrasing here. One morning, Eddie wakes up to the sound of a songbird singing sweet melodies outside of his window. Her heart was fully immersed in her song, pouring herself into every note. He gets out of bed, opens the curtain to his window, allowing the early morning sun to flood his room. As he stands there in revel of what's happening, that morning when he has his coffee, he has a thought that the songbird will never truly understand how beautiful she is or how her simple melody made his day a little bit brighter. She wasn't trying to be noticed or praised. She was just being herself, singing her song, and in doing so, she made her mark on a world that desperately needed what she had to give, even though everyone couldn't hear her song. He then goes on to tell us that maybe, just maybe, there's something we can learn from that songbird. And here's where it gets real, Queen. I've been that songbird, and so have you. See, it's been a year of me feeling stuck, devalued, and truly questioning if my voice, my song, mattered anymore. After all, life had struck me down more than once. First, losing my school was one of the hardest blows that I thought I would imagine that I would experience. The dream I built, nurtured, and poured my entire heart into was then taken away. It felt as if someone had stolen my song, silenced me. I thought to myself, if what I built could crumble like this, then maybe it was never worth much to begin with. Maybe I wasn't worth much to begin with. Then life hit me even harder than I could have ever imagined. On October 29, 2024, I learned about my unborn son's diagnosis of trisomy 18 and spina bifida, the two words that turned my world upside down. It is a cruel reality to face the possibility that your time with a child that you dreamed of might be so brief. I was broken, completely and utterly broken. At first, I tried to cope by gathering as much information as I could, reading, researching, but deep down, I knew I had to heal. So slowly, I started to remember who I was. I returned to the routines that grounded me, journaling, listening to podcasts, praying. And one day, as I'm listening to Eddie Pinero's story about the songbird, something clicked. That songbird, she wasn't singing for recognition. She sang because it was who she was. And that's when I realized I still had a song too. My song isn't made of notes or melodies like the beautiful songbird. It's the way that I show up in life, the way I pour into people, the way I share my heart, my stories, and my lessons. But how often do we forget? How often do we think our song doesn't matter? We get caught up waiting for signs, for permission, for validation. But sis, let me tell you, you don't need to wait. Your song matters right now. And reality is, life is hard. It'll knock you down, make you question your worth, and have you thinking your value's been stolen. I have been there longer than I should have been. But here's the truth. Your worth doesn't disappear because of life's storms. You're still the same queen that you were before the chaos began. Your song is still beautiful, and you are still powerful. The songbird doesn't stop singing because no one claps. She sings because it's who she is. And you keep singing, shining, thriving, and blessing the world with your presence. So as we step into 2025, I want you to hold on to this truth. Your song matters. Someone somewhere is waiting to hear your melody. For me, this podcast is my song. It's my way of showing up, sharing my truth, and helping others find theirs. I don't know what this year will bring, but I do know this. I'm done waiting, and I'm choosing to sing my song unapologetically because it's who I am. Now, I want to ask you, my dear listeners, What's your song? What's that unique part of you the world needs to hear? Don't silence it. Don't wait for permission to share it. Just sing, because someone somewhere is waiting to hear your melody. Thank you for listening to inHER Daily. If this story resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's keep the conversation going. Connect with me on social media and let me know how you're choosing to sing your song. You can find me at inHER Evolution 365 on Instagram or at inHER Evolution on Facebook. Until next week, remember, your worth was never lost. It's always been right there, waiting for you to embrace it.